Here we have a kitchen with two walls, wall number one, wall number two, and with an island in the middle. So basically wall number one is going to look like this. Wall number two is going to look like this. Now, a few tips that I want to give you guys is the first thing that we have to do is identify which one is the highest point in the room, and we do that so we can start leveling everything across. But at the end, if we start from the highest point, then we're going to be level all the way across. And I'm using that laser line to identify where the highest point was, and for me it was at this corner. That's tip number one. Tip number two, it identified which areas are critical to be center. One of them is the window, the center line for the window. So I transferred that to the bottom so I can have the sink cabinet center with that window over there. The second one is the hood section. Hood is going to be right between those two windows. That's my line also. Center, transfer down below, because that's going to be the cooktop. Okay. Then on this wall, I don't have anything critical as far as center goes. I do have a fridge that goes on this side, 42 inches built-in fridge. So I left 46 inches clear from wall to Tokik, because on the right hand side I always like to have a 3 inches or more filler panel. That's going to be that panel right there, because I want to give plenty of room for the door to swing. And then we're going to have an 1.5 inch panel over here, lowers, 1.5 inch panel, oven cabinet, and then another 1.5 inch filler over there. So and over here there is the plumbing for the island. Here we are continuing with the installation of this kitchen, and we're about to install or make a cutout for the electrical outlet. You can see right there is the electrical outlet, and this is where the cooktop is going to be. I'll show you in the drawings. Here it is, that's the cooktop. So we need that electrical outlet inside the cabinet. Now I wanted to show how I do it. Maybe that is a small tip for you guys. I'm gonna measure. I have one of the boxes that comes out with this adjusting screw on the left. Okay, there it is. So I already went ahead and took the dimensions. They are written in the wall. I have 17 7/8 and 20 1/8, 14 3/4 from the bottom up, 18 3/4, and that pretty much is outside the box. Now let me show you how I transfer those dimensions to the actual box. Okay, I have 17 7/8, 20 1/8, and then from the bottom up I have 14 3/4, all the way up to 18 3/4. Okay, now the easiest way for me to transfer these lines where they belong is using my finger as a guide, as my stop guide. Okay, and how I do it is I extend my tape measurement all the way out. I put my pencil, I hit the pencil with the tape measurement, and then I move my finger hard against the cabinet. That becomes my fence, basically. So without moving, see, now becomes my fence and I can make a straight line. I repeat, do the same over here. Okay, my finger becomes my fence. Transfer it. There it is. Do the same thing from the top down. Okay, put the pencil, tape measurement against the pencil, finger against the cabinet, transfer the line. Let me see, I can do a better job over here. Transfer the line right there. So it's the exterior line. Do the same thing over here. Transfer the line. And this is what I'm going to cut. It's much faster, obviously, but I'm trying to take this video, so hopefully you guys like it. If you like what I'm showing you, follow us on YouTube. Continuing with our installation, we already have that section installed, the island, and let me update you a little bit. Over here on this wall, it's gonna have some sort of decorative tile. Also over here in the middle of the shelves and at the top. This cabinet, they still are missing some molding that is going to be at the top, also some molding at the bottom. That molding at the bottom, we call it light balance. And this is the drawing, how it's going to look at the end. See, there's the molding to cover the lights, and that's the molding, the crown molding at the top. Okay, so that's where we are right now, and I'm gonna show you in the future how this turns out. But for right now, I want to show you how we install the uppers and what we do when we are required to be clean and to be, I don't know, a little bit more high-end looking. Meaning we have this gap over there on the wall because the wall is leaning out, but the client, they don't want any scribe molding. So what we do in those cases is we build the cabinets with a lip, an extra lip right here. This is 1 inch, so that is pretty much my scribe molding per se. Okay, so that cabinet that you are seeing right now, that one is 1 inch oversized, and I do have the gap in the back like this one right here. The difference is that that one has it all the way around. So the next step is to plumb the cabinets with the level. So you can see right there is the level, and right there is the bubble. We are plumb, that's how much the wall is leaning out. And I know I have 1 inch of material to scribe, but I never like to go 1 inch exactly. I like to go 7/8, so I can have that 1/8 of an inch space in the back, just in case there is some drywall, there is something that it wants to push the cabinet forward. I leave that 1/8 gap and I use shims and then screw it in place. So I go ahead and put my compass at 7/8, and I start my process marking the wall to the cabinet right there. See? Continuing. Let me clarify that video. It's a little hard over here with the light. There it goes. Okay, so I continue marking my cabinet all the way down, and I'll do the same at the top because they sent me this cabinet completely with the extra material all the way around. So I'm gonna mark it over here and also at the bottom. See, close to the bottom. So I'm gonna mark it over here. Right there. Time to cut and sand, and that cabinet should be ready to install against the wall, and it'll be plumb.